Shalom Akim Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Barakatham. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles and bishops of Woodmanstone, and to the Akim Akwath, tribe of four corners of the earth, holding on to the words of prophecy, to the words of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai in sincerity and truth. Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Menashe. DC Cam, short lesson for the hopeful elect. So this is just another beta lesson to meditate on, man, because in these last days, man, folks are losing their marbles. The whole breakdown of family is becoming evident. You've seen reports of folks just killing their children, killing their wives, killing themselves, crime and all that stuff, man. So it's a violent ending of Esau's kingdom, of the kingdom of the heathen, and you're just gonna see the little observations here and there, because the Lord is pouring out that spirit of carelessness, man, upon the earth, and a lot of people are gonna get caught up in it. All right. So you see on the screen, man, this so-called educated dermatologist been pouring poison in the husband's husband's drink. The hatred and the disgust on the mind. Who knows how you could measure that, man? So it just shows you how evil the world is becoming. When the Lord Hamashiach Yahweh Shai will get us out of here. And you just gotta pray, man, that you don't have folks like this around you, because you'll be having constant headaches, man. Be worried day and night. In fact, even pissed off about the filthy foods we eating. The food is not what we expect, but you just gotta pray the Lord have mercy upon us, man. So this is what our forefather Moses said, about what's going to happen to our enemies. All right. So Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7 says, "And the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Arushai, Ba'ashem Akakadash, thy power, will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." So these Moabites, man, they've done so much harm to our people. Now the Lord has to visit them, So this is just an example, man, of what is gonna become a trend, man. Because hey, the hatred, the hatred they have for us, man, the Lord has to turn that against them. All right. So you just have to remember, man. Having a wife is not a joke. Being in a so-called relationship with a woman, in fact, dealing with a woman is no joke, because you never know at what points in time she's gonna disintegrate, because the Lord has already deemed the woman as the weaker vessel. So what do you expect her to do when demons jump on her? So that's why you gotta pray. You have a strong mind. You don't fall into that trap. They always like to make a man feel comfortable, because they want to get comfortable themselves, looking for a quick fix. There are no quick fixes in this world. It's just going to lead to destruction. So I'll play the clip and get some more precepts, man, because this is a bitter situation you don't want to get yourself involved in.
Prosecutors in Orange County are trying to determine if they're going to charge an Irvine dermatologist for allegedly poisoning her husband. Police arrested Dr. Emily Yu after her husband videotaped her pouring Drano into his drinks. Detectives say Dr. Jack Chen became suspicious after getting sick with unexplainable symptoms for more than a month. After receiving a diagnosis, Dr. Chen tried to figure what was poisoning him. He set up a camera and videotaped his wife spiking his hot teas with household chemicals.
Dr. Yu gets up, goes under the counter, gets the Drano from under the sink, peels back the saran wrap, pours in a little dollop, mixes it up, puts the saran wrap back, and puts the Drano back under the counter, and goes back to the table to finish her breakfast.
The couple has been married for 10 years and has kids aged 7 and 8. Dr. Chen has filed for divorce and has a restraining order against his wife.
Yeah, so that's just the recipe for chaos that nobody wants to deal with. All right, it just takes so much mental resources to deal with a situation like this. And you don't know how many of these things are happening every day. And when you watch all these investigative channels, ID channels, and all those reports on NBC, how some woman poured antifreeze in the man's drink, what this guy is doing, folks plotting against each other. So it just shows you, man, that love is gone. The trail is gone, just like B.B. King used to sing, man. So you just gotta be spiritual, man. That you don't get yourself trapped up in this type of chaotic events, man. And then you have children involved. So you can imagine the damage the children will have to be detoxed from, So it's a permanent scarring for life. The father don't like the wife don't like the father, and then you look at the whole picture, it's just a sad old experience, So that's why we need the Lord Amashak Yahushai by Shema Krakadesh, to return quickly and to restore order upon the face of the earth, man, because stuff like this makes you sick to the stomach, all right? So as if you've been poisoned, So that's why we pray that the Lord deliver us. So the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 16 says, I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. And when you're dealing with these these creatures, lions, and all these types of beasts, you understand their nature. You don't let your guard down. You know how to handle whatever drama they want to bring towards you. But when you're dealing with a woman, you expect her to be a so-called pillar of comfort, to help ease the pain and stress of all the hustle and bustling. But then, when she turns against you, what happens? You feel as if, you failed. That why me and all that stuff. So that's why you have to understand why these situations are written of in the scriptures. Alright, so it says in verse 16, Sirach 25 and 16, I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. So when a woman is not about her purpose to keep the house in order and all that stuff, she's constantly undermining the husband. What do you expect to happen? The house is going to crumble. Just like Yahweh said, if a house be divided against itself, how can it stand? So that's why there's so much divorce, of these marriages, man. The marriage rate is just not as what you expect it to be, And hey, sign of the times, man, sign of the times. And then verse 17 says, the wickedness of a woman changeth her face, and darkeneth her countenance like a sackcloth. Yeah, there's nothing positive, man, about the wickedness of a woman. It's just like what you call a grave, man. It's just nothing but death can arise from that situation, man. It's just a constant waste of resources, and you just gotta pray, man, that you don't cross paths, man, with folks like this, man. They're on the job. They might be operating your bosses, here and there, serving your food at the restaurant. It's just crazy, man. Stocking the shelves at the grocery store. And you remember the situation in LA, the lady that just ran through that traffic light and just killed about 6 people. That's pure wickedness, man. So you just have to understand, man, that the message of the Lord, what you need day and night, man. You gotta pray that you don't cross paths with these people, man, because that's what happens, man. One person can cause so much damage because they're upset things that don't go their way. They become a loose cannon, and they just cause havoc, man. 6 lives just gone down the drain, all because one person didn't have the balls to accept the difficulties of this life. So you just gotta pray the Lord that Mashiach Yahushua cover us, man, with his spirit, with his angels to watch over us as we go in and out, of our dwellings. All right. So the book of Micah chapter 7 verse 5 says this: Trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors, right? Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. So these are words of wisdom you have to exercise, man. In this world, it's always a opportunity to do the right thing, and then you still have people that want to be an obstacle to progress. So you have to understand that, as a man of the Lord, you're going to have obstacles to deal with, obstacles outside the home and within the home. So you got to keep your guard up at all times, man. You don't get comfortable and then you start, walking around with your head down when you had the words of the Lord to beef up your so-called security, beef up your fortress, which are, the gates of your mind. You gotta know how to handle treachery and deceit in this world. So you don't let stuff like this break your spirit. Because so much goes on in this world, man. All these folks with nice looking homes, you don't know what type of chaos they're gonna create when they lose their marbles. So don't don't fall for the okie doke, man. Just like Proverbs talks about, envy not thou the oppressor and choose none of his ways. So you have to build up your structure to withstand things like this, man. Because dealing with a woman today don't guarantee she's gonna be with you the next month, 2 months from now, 10 years from now, if that's the Lord's will. Here's a couple that's married for 10 years, and what's the result? She's trying to take his life, and then she's gonna have custody of the children, So you can imagine if she had to file for the divorce and she had custody, the man's life would be down the drain because he has to pay for the upkeeping of the children, And then you see the report of those two elderly couple, those two Edomites in the 90s. The man found out so-called wife cheated on him decades ago while they were still young and agile, and he had to divorce her. So that's how crazy, things get, man. Because when the truth comes out, you figure out the reason why certain things happen. So you just got to pray that you don't fall into this trap of being head over heels, falling around like a Love Jones, So just understand, man, you can enjoy the company of a woman, but don't put your resources into that, man. Don't put your all into that. So learn how to be a miser when it comes to dealing with these so-called women, man, because you have to make sure you have enough time to take care of the Lord's business. All right, you don't want nothing to choke the word of the Lord, right? To choke up your spiritual resources. So the book of Sirach, chapter 12, Let's see. Verse 13, it says, "Who would pity a charmer that is beaten by a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts?" When you know a situation is not going to benefit you, don't try to bend it, to your advantage. It's not going to work. So you know how it is, man. When a man sees a woman, he likes the way she moves and all that stuff, but then he chooses to ignore the red flags. Hey, it becomes how you say it, a negative experience for him in the long run. He might get 10 years, 20 years, 25 years out of that so-called companionship, but then he's left for the rest of his life with sadness and misery. Becomes a drunk, addicted to the bottle, addicted to painkillers, addicted to antipsychotic medications and all that stuff. So you just have to understand that this world is not a place where you're gonna think you could put down foundation and live happily ever after. It's not the place, right? So remember, man, the Lord is not playing around. So let's get a quick review of this video again.
Police arrested Dr. Emily Yu after her husband videotaped her pouring Drano into his drinks. Detectives say Dr. Jack Chen became suspicious after getting sick with unexplainable symptoms for more than a month. After receiving a diagnosis, Dr. Chen tried to figure what was poisoning him. He set up a camera and videotaped his wife.
Yeah, so when you watch other clips of this report, it shows you they have a nice house, all that stuff. What else, man? What else does a woman want, man? What else does a man want? To have a wife. A woman wants to have a husband, have a family, have a so-called career, have investments, but then everything just becomes irrelevant, that they just want to throw it away. So that's why you have to understand that a lot of folks with six-figure, income and just walking around miserable, man. That's why you gotta pray to the Lord to help you get that spirit of contentment. Spirit of contentment. All right. So I'll get a good precept from the Lord. So it says, "Remove far from me vanity and lies." All right. So the whole relationship was a lie then. It's nothing but lies. The lies kept was kept on the wraps for over 10 years. All right. And this is the result. And this is what you have to understand. Proverbs chapter 30 verse 8. "Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me." And that's what you gotta pray for, man. That you don't get yourself entangled, chasing after a ghost, chasing after shadows, man. Because at the end of the day, man, these women are basically shadows, man. Because when the shadow of Egypt is the most attractive thing to them, you're just wasting your time trying to hold on, trying to hold on to the attention, man. So you have to, cut them loose, man. When you know that you have something much more important ahead of you to focus on. All right. So another precept to bring out will be from the book of Proverbs. It's very helpful when you have these lessons on audio to listen to whenever you can. So Proverbs chapter 19 verse 13 says, "A foolish son is a calamity of his father." That's why, men have to learn how to handle their sons the proper way. A son has to stand up, for what is effective, to be productive and have integrity, all right? You don't have time to be wasting around, chasing after ghosts, chasing after shadows, all right? And the contentions of a wife are a continual dripping. There is no discretion. When a woman is arguing, man, she's just gonna keep on yelling and screaming and turning the whole environment into a scene. That's why you have to learn how to choose your words wisely, how to, escape that situation, man, because this world is hell bent on woman worship, worship of the Queen of Heaven. So you have to understand, to counteract that type of reaction, you gotta be spiritual and let the word of the Lord be thy guide, man. When you know someone's gonna be ticked off about words of wisdom, what's the use trying to have them around you? So you start working out your exit strategy, man. Let the Lord, give you the information you need to, put into practice, so you don't end up being your own worst enemy. Because there's no reasoning with the enemy. The Lord don't negotiate with his enemies. He's coming to obliterate all of them. All right. So remember that, man. You don't want a continual drooping, man. And then you end up getting broken down. And when the woman feels as if she's conquered your spirit, use for the trash can, man. So just learn how to keep a low profile in this chaotic incidents, man, and let the Lord handle it for you, man. And ask brothers for good advice, for prayers and all that stuff. So remember, man, it's rough. By the end of the day, you have to have a response plan, man. And for those that have wives, you just have to learn how to keep yourself extremely disciplined, man. Don't fall for the spirit of comfort, for that vibe of comfort, man. All right. So the book of First Corinthians chapter 7, verse 28 and 29, it says, "But if thou marry, thou hast not sinned." So as a man of the Lord, you have to understand, if you got a woman, she likes you, you like her, hey, that shouldn't be a problem, all right? And if a virgin marry, a woman that hasn't been with a man, all right, a young woman that hasn't been with a man, and if a virgin marry, she hath not sinned, all right? So when a woman is single, she's never been with a man before, and then she got a man, she understands the gospel of the Lord Mashiach. She didn't do nothing wrong. And then it says this, "Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you." And that's expected to happen, Difficulties happen in these so-called marriages and in this so-called relationship. It's up to the two parties to apply the wisdom to grow. It's a phase they have to go through. But when one person decides it's not worth building in righteousness, and then you have to understand it's time to move on, man. And then it says this in verse 29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short; it remaineth that both they that had wives, right? That both they that have wives be as though they have none. All right. So you have to understand that once you come to serve the Lord, your family doesn't really become a major priority. It doesn't become your first priority anymore. Your family in this truth becomes a priority. That is second to none, because that's the Most High's priority that He has set for you to have a responsibility for. And the Lord is not saying for you to neglect your own family. It tells you about that as part of the responsibility of a bishop. So you have to learn how to curb your desires and not get overly in that family man spirit, man. It's not good. It doesn't help the family grow. Every moment you got, you got to use it to build your family up. It's not the time to thinking about how to set up a so-called college fund. How to go for athletic practice. For 10 years from now to have a career in the NFL or the NBA or hockey practice and all that stuff, man. What they need to be learning, what the family needs to be learning is the word of the Lord, to prepare themselves for the days ahead, the days of Jacob's trouble. That's what's more important. So that's the reason these lessons are necessary, man. A man that has a wife, they should be getting ready for Jacob's trouble. They should be preparing themselves for the second return of the Lord Mashiach Yahushai. And that's a lesson in a nutshell, Akim. It's so much more we could go into, but in the interest of time, we just keep it straight to the point. Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakadash, Shalom.